Hi everybody and welcome back to my channel. So I know it looks a lot different. I'm actually sat in my mum's room right now because I'm home for like spring Easter break, so I'll be filming here quite a lot. And my room had really bad lighting today, so I came in here because it was a little bit brighter. But today I'm here to share with you all of my revision tips and techniques that I use. I used these videos loads during first year. I found them super helpful, so I thought that going through first year, having done like a degree exam kind of thing, would have helped me learn stuff that I want to share with you, so hopefully it can help you too. This would equally work for like college or A-level kind of revision, because it's just kind of like simple revision techniques that you can do but work really well in a university environment as well. So my first tip is obviously start early, because like the earlier the better, especially for people like me, because I really like to make sure like it's proper ingrained in my memory. So I usually start about a month in advance, maybe even 2 if it's a super hard topic, but definitely at least 1 month in advance. So this video should be coming out in perfect timing for you. The other thing that I found with like doing university exams is that you have to remember a lot of quotes and like the year and who said it and stuff like that, which I find really difficult. I had some practice during English literature A-level, so this is always a good tip for that as well. But it's really tricky to like remember all the dates and stuff because they all kind of just like merge into one. So what I do, I tend to take like a big A3 piece of paper, I'll show you in like a clip away, and I'll write out the quote and like who said it, and then I'll fold that piece over, rewrite it, fold that piece over, rewrite it, just from memory. And obviously if I can't remember the whole thing, I'll go back and start again. Just a good way to like remember the whole quote, to make sure that like the word is completely in your head. The other thing I do is I'll get a cue card and I'll write the quote on one side and who said it and what year on the back, so if someone's testing me I can just see like who said it and the year, and then I can think of the quote, or they can read the quote or show me the quote and then I can say who said it and what year it is. The main thing I do though that helps me like really separate the different quotes up is I do a time scale. So like I'll have quotes from like 1983, who said it in the quote, and then I'll like do it by date all the way up till like 2018, and that way it just really helps like separate them out, because even if it's like 1982, 1983, they can merge so easily, so it's a really good way to kind of like put them all in order in your mind. And if I'm just learning content like the actual topic or whatever, I'll get an A3 piece of paper, put the topic right in the middle, and then kind of branch off like a mind map or like a bubble map or whatever people call them, of all the parts that are in that. So I'll use quotes on that, I'll use like frameworks and like pros and cons of the topic or whatever like they usually ask of you. I'll just separate it all out so that like 50 pages worth of information is just on one page, and it's like a lot more doable, like it's not as overwhelming to look at and like revise from, because you know it's just like one page and that's it. My other tip would definitely be to look at past papers, because exams are really funny in the sense that they want you to write in a certain way. I know for like business they wanted you to use like 7 connectives, so like consequently, however, but they didn't want you to use also, because that brought in another topic. And it's just like, it's very hard to get your head around, but a great way to do it is to look at past papers and their mark schemes. Now I don't know about your university, but my university doesn't release mark schemes, which is so frustrating. But basically all I do is look at the question, go back to what they taught us in the lecture, because obviously for my university my lecturers write the exam paper, so they'll obviously put the points in there that are relevant. And then I'll just bullet point them, because I do not have the time to write out all the answers to like this 2-hour exam like over and over again. So I'll just bullet point the answers, and then I'll kind of check with my mum or someone who's like quite academic and ask them what they think. Even though if they don't have a huge knowledge of like the subject area, they know kind of like how you're supposed to answer these questions. Also, by looking at past exam papers you get a feel for like how much time you need to separate into each topic, which is a huge de-stressor, because like the one thing I worry about is time, and I usually end up rushing through the first half and then I've got like an hour and a half to spend on the last half. So it's really important for me to like set my watch out and like break it down into time, so that's a really good thing to do with past papers as well. My other tip is to like revise somewhere you feel comfortable. So for me, I revise on my kitchen table, like it's just fun, like people come in, I can chat to them, because I'm not one of these people who can sit there for like 7 hours solid, so I kind of need people to break it up for me so that I can have a bit of study, a bit of chat, you know, bit of both. But I know for my sister, she really struggles with that, so she goes to Costa, and she'll just use like the background noise to like filter everything out and just focus on that. Friends of mine obviously use the library. That's really popular, especially with uni students, because they're open like 24 hours a day. But I don't really like the uni. I always find it too loud. My uni obviously doesn't use their library properly, but that's another good technique. But I also feel like rewarding yourself after is a huge benefit, because if you don't, you start to dread revising. Like, you really don't want to do it. It's just like so boring, especially when it's nice weather outside. It's like the last thing you want to do. So I always have like a snack bowl or something, or I'll, like, if I'm seeing my boyfriend or my friend in the evening, I'll make sure that I've done like at least an hour or at least 2 hours, because that's the like benefit of starting early. If you've started a month in advance and you do an hour every other day or every day, that's in the end quite a lot of hours, whereas if you just revise like the week before, you're just gonna have to like cram it all in, which is not great. I just thought about another way that I revise quotes, which is kind of embarrassing, but I'm going to tell you because it might help someone. But basically, I remember when I was learning like my Spanish, like GCSE monologue thing, I would walk around the house. So that's a really good way to like learn words. So I'd have it in front of me and I would say each word for a step, like around each room and stuff. And if I got it wrong, I'd go back to the start. So that would be really easy to do with quotes, because obviously they're probably only what, like 10-12 words. So just like start with your quote, walk it around, then put your notes back at the start of where you started walking, and then if you get like 4 steps in and you say a word wrong or you forget the word, start again. Like, by the end you'll know the start of it really well, but by the time you've done it like a few times, it's proper ingrained, and for some reason just like marching whilst you're doing it puts you in the rhythm of like remembering it. My other revision tip is to revise with friends. If you have a friend that's like a bit cleverer than you, cleverer isn't a word, is brighter than you, maybe revise with them, because I'm sure they'll have many more tips than I do to help you revise, and obviously you're doing the same subject, which always helps. But having study sessions really helps, as long as you don't like invite someone that you know is going to distract you and you're just going to end up talking about like clothes or holidays or whatever. But having a study session with the people on your course will obviously be great, because it's like a whole wealth of knowledge that you can all learn from. And obviously if you have questions, sometimes your lecturers can be a bit like shady about answering exam questions, because like they don't want to help you, but obviously your friends are there to help you, so that's a great way to learn. And it just makes it a bit more interesting, because revising by yourself can get quite boring, so mixing it up with a study session can be really useful. And if there's little things that you need to remember that you just can't, like maybe an equation or something like that, I would always put them on post-it notes and just stick them everywhere. Like, my housemates would hate it, but I would just stick it like in the kitchen, in the bathroom, like all over the place, because there's only so many times you can see it and not remember it. Like, sooner or later you'll start ignoring them, because if they're always in the same place you will. But if you update them every now and then and kind of just stick them in new places and things and make them quite bold, it's a really good way to get like the recognition in your head, so next time when you come to think of it, it's like a lot faster, a lot more easy to like collect from your memory. But yeah, they are all the tips I have for you today. I hope you have enjoyed the video. If you have, please hit the thumbs up button, and if you know of anyone struggling with revision, make sure to share it with them down below, and I'll see you next week. Bye!